And obviously, with it being a new draft cycle, we have a new group of prospects to talk about. And this year, I think, is a very exciting group, especially compared to last year, because it feels like now we have a lot of guys who could go number one, but for the right reason. So obviously, there's a guy like Cooper Flagg who's, I'd say, earned a lot of the hype. But me personally, I still feel like there's a lot of other guys who are worthy of that hype as well. So what do you guys think about Cooper Flagg being, I guess, the lock for number one for a lot of people?
Yeah, I don't really think that he's a lock for me personally. Like, I think he may be a lock just because the amount of hype he's gotten has kind of reached like that critical point to where now, if like, unless the season goes like really bad for him or something, like if he just kind of just hold serve during the season, it'll be hard for a GM to like look at somebody who's seen as a generational prospect and be like, nah, I kind of like this other player better. Mm-hmm. So I think in that way he's probably a lock, but as far as who I think should go number one, I think it's really close. I actually don't have him as my number one player in this class. So I think that guys like Dylan Harper, guys like Ace Bailey, guys like Trey Johnson, like there's a lot of other guys who are kind of knocking on that door. And I think personally as an evaluator, I want to see a little bit more from Cooper Flagg before I just give him the lock number one title.
Yeah, I think a lot of the hype came from his footage with the USA team this past summer. And obviously he didn't, cook Kevin Durant or anything. He's only was like, 17 years old, 18 years old. But he held his own at times, and he had a couple dunks, a couple jump shots as well. So that's obviously going to be impressive that he can do that at such a young age against the best the U.S. had to offer. But I think it is fair to bring up some of these other names like the Rutgers kids with Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper. Also, some of the other guards in this class like Nolan Traore, VJ Edgecombe. Both of those guys, I think, are going to have big years. And if a team, it could also come down to, if it does become neck and neck, it could come down to a lottery where a team at the top needs a guard no matter what versus they need like a wing. That's obviously not super common. Most teams are not going to pass up on, a 6'9" small forward, power forward hybrid that can handle, shoot, pass, defend. I don't think there's a single team in the NBA outside of maybe Boston that's like, we're good on that position. But if a team wants a guard, there is plenty of them to pick from in the top 5 in this class, which is going to be crazy.
Yeah. Now, I did start this segment a little negative, but I'll give Cooper Flagg his flowers still, because right now I do still have him as the number one player. But I think where a lot of at least to me, it seems like a lot of the hype for him, people don't really know what they're hyping up yet. And I think for Cooper Flagg, he's a player who's amazing defensively and does just about everything. But I think where I could see somebody else surpassing him comes on the offensive side. I think Cooper benefited in his AAU days from playing, obviously, for a team that was catered to him. Now, that's not a bad thing, but I think it made him more comfortable doing a lot of different things. But from what I've seen in his game, I wouldn't say there's anything that he excels at or that I would say makes him a number one option in the NBA right now. But I think guys like Ace Bailey, Dylan Harper, they're on the same team. And even Trey Johnson, like Cameron said, I think they have more of the skill set that would be the number one option type of player, make them a number one pick. But for now, I'll keep Flagg at the top just because of what we've seen so far.